Here's the thing I really want to talk about, Arthur, which is what's the strategy for Tacopina now? Does he want a trial right away? Trump's typical legal approach has been delay, obfuscate. He knows his way around a courthouse. It's all civil. But what's the strategy? Get a trial ASAP or delay it until after 2024 November?
90 some odd % of these cases in that courthouse, all shapes and sizes of cases, do not go to trial. Like 90, I don't know if it's 91, 92, 93. They wind up in some sort of plea settlement. I am confident in Mr. Tacopina and Susan Necheles that they will have some sort of a disposition that they could present to Donald Trump. And then President Trump will make the decision, okay, do I take this misdemeanor?
No way.
I mean, he's not going to plead to a fine. Do I take this misdemeanor and pay a $500 fine and the case is over with and now I can just not be distracted with this? Or do I want my day in court and go through all of that?
Would Bragg take that? Would Bragg ever take misdemeanor, a $500 fine? I can see why Trump could eventually be talked into that, but why would Bragg take that?
The thing is this, Megyn, you never know. Like when I represented Lawrence Taylor, the first offer was like 5 years in prison and all kinds of stuff. He wound up with a misdemeanor and probation. So you never know what happens and what changes. A case is like a child. You know, you start off as an infant and then you grow into an adult. So I don't know if Bragg would take it, if he wouldn't take it. Well, let's see how much pressure he gets on it. And, you know, one thing we want to talk about with Bragg, before this Trump thing, he was not exactly Mr. Popular district attorney here in New York, talking about 52% of those cases being reduced. The people in New York, every shape and color, want to be safe. They want to be safe. And Bragg was not exactly winning any awards. But then you say correctly that Biden got 87% of the vote. And so I don't think there's any going to be tears shed for most of New Yorkers, most of Manhattanites, that Trump gets indicted. I also don't think Donald Trump can get a fair trial. Having just done the Harvey Weinstein trial in there and seeing what the jury pool looks like, I do not think that Donald Trump could get a fair trial.
Trump's already saying he wants to change a venue. He wants to change a judge. He wants to change a prosecutor. Is he going to get any of that, do you think, Arthur?
No, I don't.
Not even change a venue.
When I handed in the motion to the appellate division for change of venue for Harvey Weinstein, the clerk looked at me and smiled and said, Arthur, where would you like to change the venue to? Mars? Everyone knows about this case. Everyone's got an opinion on it. No one's granting you a change of venue. And
Trump's going to say, how about Mississippi? Alabama?
It's got to be in the state of New York. So it's got to be in Albany, Binghamton, Rochester, Buffalo.
Staten Island. How about that?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I could just say one more thing before we have to go. I know about the media coverage. And this is where I'm going to throw my objectivity out of the window or subjectivity out of the window. Regarding Mr. Tacopina, what the late night hosts have done to Joe Tacopina, they would never dream of saying the things against Mr. Tacopina about Ben Crump, who is another fine lawyer. They said that Joe Tacopina's office is in the back of the Bada Bing strip club, that he was conceived in Rudy Giuliani's ashtray in his Lincoln Town car.
What?
The duplicity and just nastiness and actual prejudice and racism is just crazy. And yet, it's okay. It's just because, and Joe, look, he's a brawler. He's a tough guy, but he's won some real cases. And I'm not saying it because he's my buddy. I'm saying it because it's the facts. And
I've seen it as a lawyer.
Fantastic. She's fantastic. He's fantastic. And they complement each other. And Maggie Haberman saying there's trouble on the legal team. That's all BS. It really is all BS. If you look at Rolling Stone magazine, came out with an article trying to say that there was dissension in the troops. And Susan Necheles said, absolutely not. I think Joe's a great lawyer. Trump said, I am very pleased with my legal team, but the media's got to create, there's trouble in Trump paradise.
They're going to do to him what they did to Dershowitz and try to make his name a dirty word. It's absolutely despicable. He's entitled to a great lawyer, and the people who hate him most should want him to have a great lawyer. That's how the system works best. But wait, let's try to get to when this case gets tried. Like, I see your point, but Dave, what do you think? Like, is there any way this case, if nobody settles, if nobody offers a plea or nobody takes a plea, like what happens? Because if he gets convicted, do you think Trump could actually go to jail? And if he gets convicted, is he disqualified? It's not like the impeachment where if you get found guilty on an impeachment trial, you can no longer run. What happens?
If he is convicted, he is not disqualified from running for president or serving as president. The Constitution sets forth the requirements to be president and doesn't say anything about a conviction in there. And Eugene Debs, the famous socialist leader, ran for president from prison. Thankfully, he didn't win. So we'll see what happens. But I think a lot of the outrage that we're expressing, at least you guys are expressing, not so me, but a lot of the outrage, I think is going to be washed away once Trump gets indicted by the feds. I think that's coming on the Mar-a-Lago documents, possibly on January 6th. And then the Georgia case. I think this stuff, will fade into the background, and he will really have to worry about those cases, because those cases are the ones that pose real possibility of prison time. This one, I'm not so sure.
All right, now listen, I actually want to talk to you about that. I know Arthur's got to go, but Dave, can you stick around for 10 more minutes so we can talk about the breaking news on the Mar-a-Lago documents?
Sure, let's do it.
I'm actually going to that courthouse right now, Meg. And the average time of a trial is 1 year.
Till trial. Okay. So quick, before we go. Quick, Arthur. What do you make of the judge?
Trump could have had a lot worse picks than him. He's a serious guy, but he's fair. And he did the Trump Corporation case, and I spoke to the lawyers there. And he leans prosecutorial, but there are some judges in there, Megyn, that are absolute prosecutor judges. One last thing: if Trump got convicted of what we're speaking of, I spoke to my two judges who are in my law firm. Both of them said there's no judge who is sending him to prison.
Well, the nation can't handle that. Look, you did the tough thing during COVID. You paid your people and pulled your business through the pandemic. Now, doing the tough thing could qualify you for up to $26,000 per employee at covidtaxrelief.org. Government funds are available to reward companies with 2 or more employees who stayed open during COVID. This is not a loan, and you don't have to pay it back. The program is complicated, but no one knows more about it than the CPAs and tax experts at covidtaxrelief.org. You pay nothing up front. They do all the work and share a percentage of the cash they get for you. Businesses of all types, including nonprofits and churches, can qualify, including those who took PPP loans, even if you had increases in sales. You did the tough thing for your employees during COVID. Let covidtaxrelief.org help get you up to $26,000 per employee. Visit covidtaxrelief.org. That's covidtaxrelief.org, covidtaxrelief.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.